Is living alone after 65 a mistake born of loneliness, or a quiet, hard-earned victory? A lot of people assume that aging means you shouldn't live by yourself. They picture risk, silence, and long, empty days. But the reality can be very different. For many people between 65 and 80, living alone is not just manageable, it's empowering. It's not about pushing others away. It's about reclaiming space, freedom, and identity. It's about choosing a life where your preferences matter, your daily rhythm leads, and your peace is protected. People worry that living alone means being forgotten or vulnerable. But for many, it actually sparks a sense of strength and clarity. It's a chance to grow, not shrink, to exhale, not brace. After years, or even decades, spent caring for others and compromising, living alone can feel like finding yourself again. And solitude? It doesn't equal sadness. It can mean living with more intention, more freedom, and more connection on your own terms. Let's look at 6 honest, often overlooked reasons why living alone in your late 60s, 70s, or even early 80s might be one of the best choices you'll ever make. First, a stronger sense of autonomy. There's something deeply satisfying about making your own choices. You get to decide when to eat, what to watch, whether to spend the morning reading or just sitting with a quiet cup of coffee. It might seem small, but after years of compromise, being able to live life by your own rules can feel like a gift. Autonomy doesn't mean rejecting support. It means preserving dignity. Too often, when older adults live with adult children or caregivers, they quietly start losing that control. Routines shift to accommodate others. Choices are made for them. And slowly, they begin to fade into the background. But when you live alone, you get to reclaim your day, and with it, your sense of self. Second, a more peaceful environment. There's a specific kind of quiet that comes from having your own space. It's not empty silence, it's calm, it's stillness. It's a break from the background noise of other people's lives. No more footsteps at 5 a.m., no TV blaring in the next room. No unexpected conversations when you're not in the mood. Just the steady rhythm of your own day. That kind of peace helps regulate stress, sleep better, and even think more clearly. Living alone can do wonders for your nervous system. It gives you space to breathe without pressure or performance. For many older adults, that's not loneliness. It's freedom. Third, the freedom to shape your own routine. There's a quiet joy in following your own timeline, waking when your body says so, eating when you're truly hungry, resting when you want. Living with others, even those you love, often means adapting your days around someone else's schedule. Over time, this can wear you down. You lose your rhythm, your rituals, your small daily joys. Living alone gives you that back. It lets you build a day that fits you, and that can restore energy, creativity, even joy. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Fourth, emotional resilience and confidence. Living alone proves something to yourself, that you can handle things, that you're capable, that you're not just aging, you're still evolving. Independence reminds you of your strength. It builds trust in yourself. You learn to rely on your own timing, judgment, and instincts. And with every small challenge you navigate, you grow more confident, not just in managing a household, but in owning your life. For some, living alone at this stage might feel like a risk, but for many others, it turns out to be a powerful return to self. Not everyone wants or needs the same kind of independence, but if you've ever doubted whether it's still for you, if the world has tried to convince you that solitude equals sadness, know that the truth is far more complex. Living alone after 65 can be a mistake for some, sure, but for others, it's a quiet, defiant victory. One that brings peace, clarity, and a life that finally feels like your own. Freedom doesn't always show up in grand gestures. Sometimes, it's in the ordinary stuff: paying bills, fixing a leaky faucet, deciding what's for dinner, locking your door at night. These moments might seem small, but each one tells your brain, "I've got this." You're not fading. You're still in the driver's seat. A lot of older adults quietly wonder if independence slips away with age. They worry that needing less help might mean they're ignoring what they should be accepting. But the truth is, living alone, safely and mindfully, can actually bring back a kind of confidence that got buried under years of caregiving, compromise, or just not being asked what you want. Making daily choices, handling life's little curveballs, it all strengthens your sense of self. You stop doubting, you start trusting your gut again. Take Bernice, 81. She lived with her sister for most of her life. When her sister passed, everyone assumed she'd move in with relatives. But Bernice stayed. At first, she was scared. But then she did it. Paid her own bills, called the plumber, took walks alone. One day, after making her own doctor's appointment and driving there herself, she paused and said, "I didn't know I could still do all this." That realization lit her up. Living alone gave her back a piece of herself she thought was gone. Because that's the thing. Aging isn't about erasing who you were. It's about evolving. And the more you do for yourself, the more you believe in yourself. That belief becomes your emotional armor. It grounds you when life feels shaky. It fills your quiet moments not with fear, but with earned pride. The gift of less conflict, one of the more underrated benefits of living alone later in life. Way fewer emotional battles. No more passive-aggressive remarks. No more tiptoeing around someone else's mood. You can set the TV volume how you like. You don't have to explain why you want to eat dinner at 4:30. It might sound petty, but daily emotional friction drains you. It chips away at your sense of peace. Even when you love the people you live with, constant compromise wears you down. You start shrinking parts of yourself to keep the harmony. You hold your tongue. You give up little joys. And over time, it adds up. Look at Leonard, 79. After a minor fall, he moved in with his daughter. She meant well, wanted to protect him. But soon, every decision became a negotiation. Can he drive? Can he eat that? Should he be out in the garden? A year later, he asked to move into a senior apartment complex. Not because he didn't love his family, but because he missed having a voice. Within weeks, his posture improved. His laugh came back. He said, "This finally feels like my home." Living alone doesn't mean shutting people out. It means choosing when and how you want to connect. You protect your emotional boundaries. You stop performing. And when you do see friends or family, it comes from a place of fullness, not fatigue. That space, that clarity, it doesn't just help you feel better, it helps you love better, reconnecting with yourself. There's a kind of clarity that only grows in quiet. Living alone, especially between 65 and 80, opens up more than your calendar. It opens your awareness. Without the noise of other people's opinions or needs, you finally hear your own voice again. You remember what you actually like, what makes you curious, what you believe. So much of life is spent in roles: spouse, parent, caregiver, employee. We move from one to the next without stopping. But when the house is quiet and no one needs anything, you finally get to ask, who am I now? That's not a sad question. It's a powerful one. Harold, 84, lost his wife and watched his kids move away. Instead of filling the silence with clubs and constant busyness, he stayed still. He started journaling, then recording memories. One day he said, "I thought I was alone, but I found someone in the quiet. I found me." That line stayed with me. Solitude isn't emptiness. It's presence. Your presence. And when you live alone, you get to be with yourself fully, maybe for the first time in decades. You discover that aging isn't about decline. It's about uncovering. And what you find in that stillness might surprise you. A final word: living alone after 65 gets misunderstood a lot. People think it means loneliness, risk, or resignation. But often, it's the opposite. It's a return to your preferences, your rhythms, your inner compass. It doesn't mean isolation. It means making space for your needs, your peace, your voice. You've earned this chapter. Every line on your face, every scar, every quiet triumph, it's brought you here. And here, in your own space, with your own rules, you get to breathe, think, feel, without apology. So if you're wondering whether solo living is right for you, stop looking outward. Look inward. Ask your body how it feels when the room goes quiet. Ask your spirit what it craves when the day is yours alone. The answers might be soft, but they'll be honest. Thanks for being here. If anything in this message resonated with you, leave a comment below and tell us what stood out. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. We've got more thoughtful content on the way. Until next time.